So your parents owned a bar? Or
my grandmother's store.
a store.
And the young people would gather there. And they left this on the counter. And I've had this since I was about 8 or 9 years old.
A little shot glass.
The shot glass.
Yeah.
Came off the counter in my grandmother's store. And this was my mother's. Somebody gave it to her. And we used to use it all the time when we were kids. But it's about 90 years old.
Just for like a teapot?
It's a teapot.
Yeah.
It's about my age or older. And these there's the plates in the back there.
Yeah, I can see him. I can see him.
They were given to me by a girl across the street, Karen.
Oh, okay. John and Karen.
This one you shipped from Ireland.
Yes. That crystal bowl.
And I don't know where I got this. I've accumulated these over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I bought this because I thought it was kind of pretty.
It is
I've
pretty.
never used it.
Salt and pepper.
And this dishes up here
Mm-hmm.
from a set of dishes that I've got down here.
Oh, yeah.
My stepbrother was in the Navy. He was in Japan.
Which stepbrother? Virgil?
Wayne.
Oh, Wayne?
And he was stationed in Japan. And he bought this set of dishes in Japan and had them shipped to my mom.
Nice.
So they're about, trying to think, 50 years old or so by now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big covered dish.
Mm-hmm.
In there was my brother's wife's.
Uncle Noel's wife?
Yeah. And these set of plates back here in the background were given to me by Karen.
Uh-huh, across the street.
Yeah. And I've got so many things that's from different people. I bought this. And this is kind of from I've just had them forever.
What is that white dish up there?
Huh?
Is that just a covered dish, or is it for something particular?
It's a covered dish.
For whatever?
Yeah. It was given. I probably was given to me. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And these
Champagne glasses.
champagne. I bought those.
Mm-hmm. I have a set that's kind of similar. Yours are taller than, I believe. I haven't had them open for a long time. They were, Jamie gave us to Dan and I for a wedding gift, I believe.
Yeah.
That's a cool bell. Is that for cheese?
Yeah. And there's one underneath that opens up.
Uh-huh.
Tools for it.
Yeah. Gravy boat.
This dishes I've had accumulated over the years.
Yeah. What about that little cup in front with the drawing on it?
The what?
The hobo drawing in that tiny cup in front of the plates?
Oh, right here.
No, right where your right arm is.
Oh, that one?
No, over more. Yeah, right there.
Oh.
That little cup with the painting on it. In the very front,
Yeah.
right? It's in front of that plate. Yeah, there you go, that one.
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's a candle.
Oh, it's a candle. Okay. It's cute.
And this here. I've accumulated, I don't know,
Yeah, bits and pieces from, looks like wedding favors.
Ooh, I've got them from different weddings I went to, I guess.
Mhm, yeah. Baby
Did a
shower.
baby shower.
Yeah. That bowl's pretty. Oh. Oh, those are two separate bowls. I thought that was decoration for this bowl. I see. Yeah.
I've got so many stuff.
I can
The-
put it back
the-
up there for you if you need me
One
to.
of these, I had to go to the hospital and have surgery, and I had one of these bears with me.
Oh, cute. Do you need me to set it back up there?
Yeah.
You feel okay?
I don't know why I have all this there, but I don't use it.
Well, it's a china cabinet. That's what you do.
I got this storage mostly.
You just never know.
And I accumulated things over the years. There's an egg dish down here
Uh-huh.
for stuffed eggs.
Oh, yeah. For deviled eggs.
Devil egg dish.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Anything in the curio cabinet that you want to talk about? You have all your collectibles. You have the
I'm
angel.
trying to get rid of those.
Right. What about these dolls?
Oh, I had this since I was about 6 years old or more. These are all old,
Mm-hmm.
back in the 40s.
Yeah.
That came from Disneyland.
I remember that trip, actually. You have a couple fans, little thimble. The shells, was that from a specific little trip? Or did somebody give them to you? Or
Could have been.
there's some cool shells back there.
They were given to me, and that one that opens up, I think. That big one.
Yeah,
down
it
there.
looks like it. One in the corner.
And
More of your collectibles, and there's a picture of Bill. Anything over there? You wanna? Where did you get the Russian dolls again?
the what?
The Russian dolls?
Oh, when we were up in Alaska, we wanted
Ah,
in Alaska.
before
over
your
a
gallbladder
trip.
attack, or
Uh,
after? Before your gallbladder attack, or after? Do you remember?
After we came from, probably in 2000.
That was a trip you had your gallbladder attack.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of your dad, Monty. Monty.
Right. My dad there.
Yep. And then pictures of Grandma and probably you. And she's probably holding you, and that's Uncle Noel in the front.
All those little pictures of me,
Yeah.
baby pictures.
It's a cool car.
I've got albums over there in that one cabinet. It's full of picture albums.
Yes, I remember that. So tell me the story about when your dad got hurt or something happened and you rushed there to be with him, and on the way to the hospital.
I ended up getting in a car wreck.
Yes, that one.
My dad was in the hospital. He had a heart attack. And my uncle, his older brother, was driving me from St. Louis back to Steelville. And a car passed as we did, and it hit the side of our car. And I ended up in the hospital. My dad didn't even know I was there. And I got hurt.
Yeah, you got hurt pretty bad.
And, but we ended up back and going to see my grandmother in Steelville. And they had to let him know that I was there. And I went in the room, and I didn't want to limp, but I got in and I jumped up on his bed.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was bad. Your dad flew to St. Louis and got me and brought me home on a train. And that's where I got
That big gouge. Yeah.
it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's about it.
That heart attack that your dad had, did he live much longer after that? He didn't die from that heart attack, did he?
Not from that one, but he did. But eventually, he died quite young. He was in his 50s when he died.
Yeah.
I think he was about 58, something like that.
Wow.
And he left me with some property. And my grandmother, she had this grocery store out in the country there. And I guess she must have sold it after we moved away. And anyway, his wife and her daughter figured a way to get it. And so I wouldn't fight over it. I said, I'm not going to fight for it if I have to. They gave it to me.
Yeah.
You can have it. So I gave it away to all that property, his property.
Yeah. That's,
They didn't live too long after that. They didn't gain much from it. But
yeah.
I didn't have it, but they didn't either.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I couldn't see fighting over something that it was so far away.
Yeah.
It was in Missouri, and
Right.
what I would do with it, I don't know. So
And
they
so,
ended up with it. It was their problem.
yeah. Do you remember how old you were when your dad and grandma got divorced?
When they broke up,
Yeah, before she married Grandpa Owen?
I don't remember living with my dad. He worked in St. Louis in the slaughterhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and he would come home on weekends, or some weekends he would come driving home. But we moved to St. Louis for a while. I hated it. I wanted to get back to the farm.
Yeah,
So I was happy on the farm when I was a little kid.
yeah.
And we actually lived in a shack, I guess, but to me it was like a home.
Right, for sure. How old was he when he became a sheriff?
I don't know, he died in his 50s, so.
Was he a sheriff when he died?
Huh?
Was he a sheriff when he died?
He was running for another election.
And they had his, yeah.
So.
Huh.
I took you back there.
Really? I actually drove through Steelville when Diana and I did that cross country.
I took you to Washington. My cousin lived in Washington,
Mm-hmm.
and we went up there,
Oops, sorry.
and you were little,
Yeah?
but you were just a baby.
Yeah. That's cool. And so then when you were 8, Grandma married Grandpa Owen, and that's when They
got
moved you-
married in-
they got married in Missouri, or before you guys moved to Wyoming?
Probably when I was about 8, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
I was going in 4th grade when we moved to Wyoming. My mom wanted to get us out of there, and her idea was if she could get us as far as Wyoming, she would go on to Washington if she couldn't get along there.
Yeah.
And she apparently got along. So she married my stepdad, and
And he had how many kids?
he had 6 kids.
Yeah.
But I was always the special one.
Oh.
And so he treated me really good.
Mm-hmm. That's probably why your step siblings were so mean to you. They're probably jealous.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He really took care of us.
Yeah.
He was a carpenter. But I've never heard him ever say anything about money. I don't have any money.
Yeah.
We just knew we had no money. But we had what we needed. We had
Yeah.
a house and we had food.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, I never questioned what we had or didn't have. It was
Yeah.
just the way it was,
Yeah.
you know?
I didn't want for anything.
Yeah.
It's when I got old enough, we all had to go out and earn money to buy whatever we needed,
Mm-hmm.
school clothes and so on.
Yeah.
And I worked from babysitting to manning the counter at the drugstore. We had a soda fountain in there. I worked at that soda fountain for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an electrical shop a few doors down. I worked at this electrical shop, took care of that. And I thought I was doing a good job, but I probably wasn't. I did the best I could
Yeah.
with my education. I just knew we had to earn our way, and we all did
Yeah.
earn our way. My stepsisters never worked. They stayed home. But my brother and I, older brother, we went out and got jobs.
Mm-hmm. That's what Grandma instilled in you guys, you know. That's what Grandma instilled in you guys. That was, I mean, I never questioned, like, when I was getting out of high school. I mean, I started working before when I was still in high school. And you guys didn't request it of me. It was something that it was natural, normal.
Yeah, they didn't ask us for money.
Yeah.
We just more or less took care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And my stepdad bought the groceries, but my mom sold the farm, and that's how we got our house. And we did the best we could with what we had.
Right.
It wasn't much, but we had it.
Yeah.
Stable.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he was quite a character, and we all loved him, was calling all of him all the time, and he had all the patience in the world, and he entertained us.
Yeah, Kathy and I, both of our earliest memories is, of course, the only outfit we ever saw him in was his conductor overalls. and every time we walked by, he poked us with that dang cane.
My grandpa knew a lot of the criminals back in those days that you read about now.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up with them. He said they would give you something, and on the way home they'd rob you.
Really? Was he in law too, or that's just people he knew? Was he in the?
He grew up back in the days. My memory is not good, like a lot of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember a lot of things.
I can't either, Mom. There's 20, almost 30-year difference, and I can't remember a lot of stuff either.
Yeah.
So did Grandpa Owen was he an actual conductor, or was he just had a love for trains?
He was a fanatic
Like Justin, yeah.
He was a fanatic about trains.
Yeah, he always had his overalls on.
And he bought train schedules and everything. I guess he was a kid at heart.
Yeah.
But he was like, all his life, he wouldn't be anywhere. He couldn't see trains going down the track.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Justin's just like that, man. It's just like, even the hope, if he sees a railway, it's like, just follow it. There might be a train.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that...
He was fanatic about trains.
Yeah.
And he was a carpenter. Carpenter I knew in town. There was 2 lumber yards, and he worked at one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Mom needed something she wanted built. He never had time to do it, so she'd go up to the office, and she'd order it from the office, and he'd build it, and she'd get it.
That's so funny. That's very clever. Sounds like something you and I would do.
Yeah.
That is funny. Did he ever catch on? I mean,
probably.
That is so funny.
But every Sunday he took us for a car ride.
Uh-huh.
And we drove around the country looking at everything in the side of the road.
Uh-huh.
It was just a regular car ride.
Well, that's a nice tradition.
Piled all his kids. There wasn't any place to go but in Wyoming.
Yeah.
It was out in the country, it's a little old town. There's probably 2,000 people in the county.
Yeah. He's Bill and Clarence. Yeah, Bill and AJ. You love that dog.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one of your Cabo trips.
That dog's gone in the casket with me. He was cremated. And
Oh yeah, I haven't forgotten.
he-
I thought you
he-
were talking about the fish.
Yeah. That picture of Mom and us when we first moved to Wyoming.
Oh yeah, oh down there.
Yeah, that's how.
Well, Noel was a lot older than you. It looks like.
5 years.
Oh. And then Uncle Norman is 2 years?
3.
3 years younger. I really like that picture.
That when I turned 9, 1939, we moved to Wyoming.
Uh-huh.
And I spend my time doing costed pictures now.
Yeah. And so then you were telling me about how mean your stepsisters were and how they pinch you and...
Oh, the older one, they tried to find beds for all of us, and they put me with the older one, and she was mean. She'd pinch me and stuff at night, and so my mom put pillows on top of the trunks and made a bed, and I slept on these pillows on the trunk in the basement.
Yeah. That's awful. So we have here...
It's my mom's, my twin brother.
Oh, that's right. How old was he when he passed? Was he...
I don't know. I don't remember.
What was his name?
Clifford.
Clifford? And Clara, which really wasn't her first name, I recently discovered. What was her real name?
My mom?
Yeah.
Sarah.
Well, no, not on her birth certificate. It says something different.
Oh, I don't know. That's all I know is
I can't remember. And this right here,
it's a true document. It's stamped on the back.
see if I
That's
can
when my
get...
grandfather was little, young. He rode across the country.
Trying to get that glare off. And this clock Bill got when he retired from the clock. Is that one of Bill's retirement gifts from Basalt?
Bill?
Yeah, the clock.
Oh, no, that's Bill Hartley.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
From, yeah,
From
the retirement gift.
he loved that clock.
Yeah.
It took me years to get used to it. It used to annoy me. I couldn't sleep. He would always wake me up. Here's a, oops. These things are hard to, here's a picture of you and your brothers when, before Uncle Noel died, obviously. Very cool. So anything else that comes to mind? Anything else come to mind?
Oh,
You were like 17 when you came here from Wyoming to
Here?
babysit.
Why? 2 days after I graduated, I came to Napa to stay with my cousin. His wife was going to have a baby,
Mm-hmm.
so I stayed to take care of her. And I'm sure I was a nuisance, but I thought I was doing a job.
Yeah, you were
And,
17 though,
I got
right?
a job downtown at a fountain thing.
Oh, you did? I don't remember that.
I worked downtown 2 times. I worked at this one. We had a counter and a couple tables in it, and I worked there. taking care of customers, waitress. And then over the years, when Gary was small, I got a job at a restaurant and worked as a waitress in a Western on First Street.
Uh-huh.
And he was ornery. I had to get a babysitter to take care of him.
Yeah.
And so,
He was busy.
yeah.
So tell the story about how you met my dad.
Oh. Well, it's when I was staying with my cousins. I was out at Basalt, where the cemetery is now. There used to be a housing out there, government housing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was late at night. It was dark. And I went to see her, and we used to be able to, the buses came regularly. The Greyhound bus and catching bus back into town. And I was at this place where we could stand to catch the bus. And your dad had been to a movie, I guess. He came back and he saw me, and he took his brother-in-law back to the house and came back up and talked to me. And so he ended up driving me to town.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you would get in cars with strangers.
Yeah.
And he drove me home and made a date.
Yeah, he used to brag about that. How that ride, he managed to secure a date with you.
Yeah. Love on a Greyhound bus. There used to be a song. Actually, we got married about 3 months later.
Mm-hmm. You guys eloped. And you
We
had
got married in Vallejo. And
by a judge.
we called someone to marry us, and it was at the courthouse. We got in the wrong one. We got in the court where they were holding trials. After the judge sentenced everybody, he married us. Took us in the back room and married us.
And then you guys drove to the city?
We drove to San Francisco. I didn't tell my cousins that we got married.
And you went to a movie, though, before right after you...
Yeah, the next day. We stayed in San Francisco that night. We went to a movie, Belinda, I think. And he took me home, and I didn't tell him, my cousin's wife, that I'd gotten married. And I started crying one night, a few days after we were married, and I told her. And so that's when he came and got me.
Uh-huh.
Took me out to where he lived with his parents in Shipyard Acres.
Yeah. And then you met his mother.
They moved out. He had a nice dad.
Yes.
I was his pet.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I took her baby away from her.
Yeah.
Actually, we shouldn't have gotten married. We didn't even know each other.
Uh-huh.
But we were married 30 years.
Yeah. Well, you wanted, I mean, when you're 18 or that close to it, you think you're all grown up.
I guess I was desperate to have someone to take care of me.
Yeah. And so then Grandma made you, before you married Dad, Grandma made you go back to Wyoming.
Yeah.
And you wanted to come back.
She called, insisted that I come home.
Mm-hmm.
And I went home and I met this guy that I knew lived down towards Casper. And he came up and we were together, and she didn't want me to get entangled with him. she sent me back to California. And so we ended up getting married.
Yeah. That's funny though.
Yeah.
She didn't
I
want
didn't
you.
know how long we'd be married, but
Yeah.
I was a kid, mixed up, and I didn't know what in the hell I was doing.
Right. Yeah. It's very young. I can't
was just
imagine.
trying to survive, I guess.
Sure.
And that was back before diapers and all this other stuff.
Yeah, you had cloth. I used cloth with Daniel actually until we moved here. I didn't want to mess with cloth diapers driving from Texas to California, and I just never stopped using disposables. Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you think of anything else, just let me know and we'll start up again.
Okay.
Love you.